And all Star Trek fans know that that is the opening chords to any Star Trek episode, and there is a brand new online Star Trek series called Star Trek Continues. The cast and crew, or should I say the actors and actresses, are picking up where the 3-year mission ended in 1969, and with us this evening is Michele Specht, and she plays Dr. Elise McKennah on the new Star Trek Online series. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I am very excited about this new Star Trek series. To me, it's almost like finding unreleased episodes of Star Trek and watching them, and it's just a thrill for me. And I guess to start with, how did the whole concept of Star Trek Continues come about, and how did it happen?
Well, it's all basically the brainchild of our Captain Kirk, who is also the one of the exec producers here and creators of Star Trek Continues, Vic Mignogna, who is, like many of your listeners, I bet, a tried and true TOS fan, down to his bones. It is just his favorite thing of all time, and it was kind of his lifelong dream of being able to recreate it, and not just recreate it, but just basically bring it back to life and continue something that is so well beloved and held in such honor. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. This is absolutely a labor of love. So we know that there are a lot of productions out there, and we're so happy that there are, because every production it probably comes from the same place. We are very fortunate to be, many of us involved, entertainment professionals. So we found other like-minded entertainment professionals, as well as a band of really die-hard volunteers who just love TOS as much as we did, and are just doing our best to bring it back to life and honor it in the way that real TOS fans would appreciate and enjoy.
Now you play, your role is the ship's counselor, which is a new character for the original Star Trek series. So in a sense, you have kind of the more freedom than any other characters on there, because I know when everybody watches this, they're always going to be, when they see Spock or Kirk, they're going to be, even if subconsciously, comparing it to William Shatner or Leonard Nimoy, but your role was kind of new. So how was that? How did that role come about?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, John. I try. I started thinking about it when we were really gearing up to shoot that first episode. And anytime I think too long about it, I start getting incredibly nervous and very anxious about it, because, Star Trek is all about Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. Let's be honest. That's really at the heart of it. And Uhura and Sulu are there as well to add their amazing and kind of unique voices to each of those storylines. And bringing in somebody new is a risk. It's a big risk. And so I wanted to approach this with the love and care and honor of someone who really just simply wanted to complement and add on to something that was already so well established and well loved. And that's hopefully what I'm doing. She is one of, Dr. McKenna is one of several kind of introductions that we're trying to do, bridging that gap between TOS and TNG. There are a few other instances. I don't know if you got a chance to watch those little vignettes that we put out first, before even our first episode, where we kind of introduced the new phasers in that Scotty's birthday vignette. We also, in the first episode, introduced the beginnings of the holodeck kind of technology. So there are kind of a lot of firsts that we're introducing in this fourth season of TOS, as we like to call it, where we're starting to bridge that gap between TOS and TNG. And my character is kind of part of that. But yes, you're right. It's a big deal to be a new character on here. You're right. There is a lot of freedom to it, but I felt a great deal of responsibility. I really, really wanted to honor and be a complement to what was already so well established and loved.
Well, I think you've done a good job with it. I mean, you fit in right along with everybody else, and I really enjoy your character. Now, you all have really, as I said a few minutes ago, you've really recaptured the essence of the original series. How much have you watched and studied the TOS?
Well, I have seen every episode, at least twice, of TOS. Vic and many of our crew members who are on board who have seen it far more than that. And probably like you and many of your listeners, this is kind of Vic's brainchild, and he grew up on Star Trek. When he was a kid, he learned how to sew simply to be able to make uniforms and sew tribbles. He learned woodworking so he could build props. He learned how to operate film cameras so that he could take Super 8 short films of he and the other kids in the neighborhood recreating their favorite episodes. He would tape record every episode on Friday nights on a cassette player, put it under his pillow, and play them as he would go to sleep every night.
Wow.
So he knows it backwards and forwards. He knows every word. And for him, as many of your listeners, and probably you as well, Star Trek is not just a show. It is such a representative of that time, of that era, of that culture, and it's far greater than just the sum of its parts. So for many of the folks involved, that's the role that it plays. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. And hopefully we're doing it well. I hope so.
Well, yeah, the show's was always kind of bigger than life, so to speak. But I think y'all have also, as I watched, particularly this last episode, Lalani, the storylines in Star Trek were always, even though you were out in space, they were out in space, it was always about humanity and the times we were going through here on this planet. And I think y'all have kind of recaptured that as well.
Right. There's always a greater story. There's always, that's what made, I think, Star Trek the first in so many different ways. It challenged us, it gave an arena to address so many social and cultural issues of the time and really call to question our reasonings behind our actions in those situations. So that's exactly what we're trying to carry on with this. That is foundational to what TOS is about. We could do a good job of recreating the lighting and the sets and the props, but if we didn't have those storylines, if we didn't have those issues that called in us the nobility of who we can be as human beings on this planet, then it would not be real Trek.
Right. Well, I want to play, and original Star Trek also had some humor in it, and this is my favorite humorous moment from Lalani.
Okay,
and it involves you. You probably know which one I'm going to play, don't you?
I hope so. I hope it's, the scene that was actually improvised and made it into the edit. So I hope it's that one. Let's see.
Let's see if it is. Here we go.
Okay.
Did you hear from Starfleet?
I did.
And what did they say?
We're allowed to continue our investigation, but as far as she's concerned, our hands appear to be tied.
So you're giving up?
I'm not giving up.
Sounds like you're giving up.
I'm not giving up.
There was resignation in your voice, Captain. Sir, we cannot simply return this girl to a life of servitude and slavery.
Dr. McKenna, you're new to this ship, so I'll excuse you for not understanding. But when I say I'll do everything I can, I'll do everything I can.
Do you always challenge each other in this manner?
No, not always. Why do you ask?
Well, I read in some cultures such challenging between males and females is considered a mating ritual.
No. Not in this culture.
Yes. I mean, no. No. Yes to the no. No.
Yes to the no.
Now,
that was it.
The audio is good, but the fans have to go see the video of that. Just the looks on y'all's faces and the way you improvise there is classic.
That's right. So much of comedy really is in the presence, the face, the expression, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, I have to watch myself. I'll be honest with you, John, because as an actor, I get hired mostly to do comedy. That's kind of what I've always done, and anything from voiceovers to commercials to whatever it is that I'm hired to do. So, that's kind of my go-to. That's my default. So as an actor, I always am I just have that bent about me as a person. So I have to watch that because there's so much humor in original Trek, but it's not all about that. There's always a greater story to be played out, but it's always so fun to be able to find those moments and live those moments out and create them in that wonderful tension that I feel like McKenna and Kirk can have, I think that's one of my favorite parts of playing this role is that there is that tension between them. So that was fun. I'm so glad you picked that one.
Yeah, I love that one. And one of my favorite moments in the original series, they did one episode, I forget the name of it now, where they just had Leonard Nimoy play he was like making smart alecky comments the whole episode, but they were funny. And Scotty said something about I'll sit on the warp engines and nurse them myself. And Mr. Spock says, Leonard Nimoy says, that position, Mr. Scott, will not only be unavailing but also undignified. So,
there's so many funny moments in TOS. There truly are. So it's so neat that we're able to, that we want to hit all of those tried and true themes of what we love about TOS. Yeah. So like I said, it's not just fun action sequences or making good special effects or getting the right costumes or makeup or lighting. It's recreating and bringing back to life and honoring all of those elements, including humor. So I'm so glad you enjoyed that.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the sets have been remade to perfection. What is it like being on that set, having seen the original Trek episodes, and actually being part of that? That's got to be thrilling.
Oh, John, I can't even tell you what it's like, and I hope you get the chance to come down and visit. I really do. I don't know if you're anywhere close to St. Mary's, Georgia, but if you are, that's where they are. We have a 10,000 square foot facility, and our director of photography, Matt Busey, is an architect as well as director of photography. He's got a degree in architecture, so he found the plans for the original Desilu soundstage. We laid this space out exactly like the original soundstage. Wow. I believe it is the most accurate, complete, and spot-on recreation of those sets that there is anywhere in the world. So when you walk down that curving corridor, and you can actually walk into captain's quarters, into the briefing room, into the transporter, it is unbelievable. It is not, you will become a kid again. I really hope you get a chance to come down there, because that's exactly what it's like. It is like, you're going to be like a kid in a candy store.
I want to sit in the captain's chair.
Yes, you should, John. Come down, we'll get your uniform. That'll be it. We'll do it.
Now, you've shot 2 episodes so far. Tell us a little bit about what more can we expect.
Ooh, John, I'm so excited. Okay, we are. I'm gonna be a little giddy here, because we're getting ready to shoot episode 3 in less than 2 weeks. We're gonna start this. I think it's like March 9th through the 18th is when we're going back down to shoot episode 3. Mm-hmm. And John, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but holy crap. If you love what we are doing this episode, I don't know if I've ever been so excited to do anything ever, any project. This is, I can't wait. I can't wait for you to see it. And we're going to have to get it done pretty quickly, because actually the turnaround on this one is going to be faster than our other 2. We just found out that myself and Vic and Granta Mahara, as you know, from Mythbusters, who plays our Sulu, and Christopher Duan, who is plays our Scotty, reprising his father's role. We have all been invited. Oh, and Todd as well, Spock. We've all been invited to go down to Australia to premiere this 3rd episode in June at the Supernova Pop Culture Conventions in Sydney and Perth, Australia.
Awesome.
So we've got to shoot this in March and get it done quick enough that we can premiere it in June. So it'll be coming along shortly, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Any real TOS fans, I think, are just going to be blown away by what we're doing on this 3rd one.
All right. You, don't tell us anything else, but you really piqued my interest on it.
Good. I hope you like it, and we'll have to touch base after it comes out, and I'll have to see what you think.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Well, what can the fans do to help promote this?
Oh, golly, just, watch it and talk about us, I suppose. This is, like we said at the top of the interview, this is truly a labor of love. No one involved in this is making any money. In fact, we're usually losing it, because we're giving our time and vacation days away to go down and really play Star Trek. We're reliving so many of our childhood dreams. So if you enjoy what we're doing, if you like it, there's a lot of wonderful fan productions out there. I think that there's room in the Trek universe for all of us to do what we do. I do think we're uniquely fortunate to have so many entertainment professionals involved in our production. I think that lends us to having access to a lot of wonderful, skilled, talented people, equipment, actors, and resources that other folks might not be able to have. So what unifies us all, though, is that we are just huge Star Trek fans who are trying to bring back to life this thing that we love so much. So we're very fortunate. We've got a lot of our cinematographers, special effects, our guest stars. That's why we were able to have, Jamie Bamber from Battlestar Galactica play a role in our first episode, and Marina Sirtis, who plays the voice of our computer, and Lou Ferrigno, who guest stars in our second episode. I think because of all the work and entertainment that Vic has done over the last 20 years, all the professional relationships that he has built and has in the entertainment industry has allowed us to have access to so many wonderfully talented entertainment professionals who are also just huge Star Trek fans. So I guess just talk about us. I hope you just watch it. And if you enjoy it, let us know. We want to stay really connected with fellow fans, because that's what we are, producing this and making this. So if you could talk about us and support us, and hey, if we have another Kickstarter, maybe you'll feel like donating a little bit so we can make some more, because that's just basically what we're doing. It's a big old labor of love.
Sounds good. Now, where can people go to get more information about you and about the new series?
Our website. You can see everything that we're about, and you can see our episodes there. You can see all the information about how we came to be, and that can just be found at www.startrekcontinues.com. Named after the show. It's pretty easy. And our episodes are up on both YouTube and Vimeo under Star Trek Continues, but also under their episode names. The first one, Pilgrim of Eternity, and the second one, Lolani.
All right. Now, branching away from Star Trek a little bit, what are some other films and TV shows that you've worked on recently?
Oh, golly. I have been lucky enough to actually, Star Trek Continues is the third or fourth sci-fi based web series that I was lucky enough to be a part of. You know, they're really wonderful and enthusiastic sci-fi fandoms in a number of different areas. And one of them is I'm also a voiceover artist, so I've done voices on video games and animated TV shows. And one of the video games, Fallout, I don't know if you or the younger kids know about this. I got to be honest with you, John. I'm not a video game person. I think the last time I played it was Donkey Kong. So it's been a long time since I played a video game. But there is a video game out there called Fallout, and we made a fan series and a fan film and 2 seasons of a series based on that called Fallout Nuka Break. I was lucky enough to be a part of. There's another one called based on the Portal video game universe. This one's called Aperture R&D. I was lucky enough to be a part of, played the personality core, the voice of the personality core. But I do a lot of commercials and voiceovers, like I said, for video games and animated TV shows. A little bit ago, I did a spot on a Disney XD TV show, which is really fun because, like I said, I usually get to do comedy. That was a very broad comedy, a show called Kickin' It, and I got to be on that, which was really fun for a couple episodes. And so I just, I make my living wherever I get hired to go and be a big old dork, because that's kind of what I am. So this is absolutely one of the most professional sort of, I have to be very professional and very contained while portraying Dr. McKenna, but in real life, I'm just a big old sci-fi dork. So this is just a kind of a dream come true.
I also read on IMDb that you've done some singing. What type of singing do you do?
Oh, well, my degree is actually in theater and classical vocal music performance. So I studied, yes, I'm a lyric soprano. I studied classical music in college and studied abroad for it in London, and was able to spend some time there with the National Theater and an internship, which was really wonderful. So my roots are in both classical music and theater. So TV and film is something that I got into actually after the fact. I started my career in LA doing sketch comedy. And then I got cast as a regular on a sitcom called I Hate My 30s and did that for a full season as a regular character. But my roots are theater and music. So yes, that was what my degree is in. I haven't done it very much. I just do it for my own entertainment now. Mm-hmm. I prefer jazz standards. That's kind of my favorite go-to. I love torch songs. So if anybody wants to sing me some Ella Fitzgerald, I'm a happy girl.
Well, I love jazz standards. You ought to record a CD or something.
Well, yeah, Vic is much more prolific in that area than I am right now. As you know, maybe you don't. He's not only his degree's in film, but he is also an incredible musician. He's got 6 albums of his own out on YouTube on iTunes that he's produced and written and sang on. He's written all the music and sang all the songs on them, and he's an incredibly prolific musician. But I just do it kind of for my own enjoyment these days.
Well, maybe you should do an episode where Dr. Elise McKennah and Captain Kirk do a duet.
Oh, my goodness. I would love to imagine the situation where that would be appropriate. Let's come up with a storyline, John. We'll make it happen.
I always say people, if you sing well, you ought to put a CD out. I'd love to hear you sing some jazz music sometime. So,
all right, maybe that'll be in the future. That'll be fun.
So, well, Michele, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show and wish you all the success in the world for this show. And I also want to say thank you to you and the cast, because this is just great for me. It's like I said before, it's like seeing brand new episodes of the original series, and it doesn't get any better than that.
Oh, John, I cannot imagine. There is no higher compliment to be paid to us than that. And that's exactly what we hope to be doing. And I hope your listeners and other viewers have that same experience. I hope that with every frame that they watch of Star Trek Continues, they can see that it is being made and produced by folks who love it and honor it as much as they do, and are simply trying to continue that amazing experience.
Well, I think you've definitely done that, and I can't wait to see this next episode, because now I won't be able to sleep at night wondering what the storyline's going to be.
John, I'm so excited for it. I can't hardly wait.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, John. You have a great day.